Nollywood, it's a global powerhouse, right? Second largest film producer in the world. It captivates us with these incredible stories and characters. But a recent tragedy, one that was actually live streamed, has pulled back the curtain on a much, much darker reality for the people who make all that magic happen. And it all started on a boat.
So let's set the scene. We're on the Annam River, during the production of a movie called The Other Side of Life. And what happened next would send shockwaves through Nigeria's entire entertainment industry.
I want you to really hear these words. They're from the beloved Nollywood actor Junior Pope. He was on a boat, heading to the film set, and he was live streaming the journey. You can hear this strange mix of a joke and, well, real fear in his voice. He's talking about being an only son, about wanting to see his kids grow up, all while pointing out the risks he's taking just to entertain us. It's chillingly prophetic.
That boat journey, it ended in a horrific accident. The boat capsized, and Junior Pope, along with several of his crewmates, drowned. A man who brought so much joy to so many people died just trying to get to his job.
And in the aftermath, the reason for this tragedy became painfully, horribly clear, confirmed by the actor's own video. It was such a basic, fatal oversight. No life jackets. And bigger than that, no real safety plan for a shoot that was happening on open water. It just wasn't there.
Now, as devastating as this was, it wasn't just a one-off freak accident. No, this was a massive wake-up call. It ripped the cover off a pattern of preventable deaths and exposed a problem that's deep and systemic right inside Nollywood.
And you won't believe this, but just a few weeks after the world mourned Junior Pope, it happened again. Another tragedy. A young, talented set designer, Olaoluwa Dare Lawal, drowned. He was working at night, right next to a river that was supposedly 30 meters deep, on another film set.
At this point, you could just feel the public's frustration boiling over. People were saying things just like this social media user. The feeling was, these aren't just tragic accidents anymore. This is repeating the same mistake. It's about neglecting that simple, crucial phrase, safety first. So that begs the question. Is this just carelessness, or is there something much deeper going on?
And this gets to the absolute heart of the debate. Okay, so after the accident, the immediate call was, we need life jackets. That's what we call reactive safety. It's like putting a Band-Aid on the wound. But what the experts are screaming for is proactive safety. That means thinking ahead, addressing the root cause, doing a full risk assessment before you even start rolling so the danger never has a chance to happen in the first place.
Now look, to be fair, accidents can and do happen on film sets everywhere. Hollywood has its own tragic history. But insiders say what's happening in Nollywood is different. Many of these incidents aren't some complicated stunt gone wrong. They're the result of what one director called blatantly careless decisions. I mean, failing to provide life vests for a boat trip, that's not a complex stunt failure.
So why? Why does this keep happening? To really get that, you have to look at the tough stuff, the complex economics, the structures of the industry itself. Because for a lot of people making these films, it's a constant grinding battle between ensuring safety and just basic survival.
This quote from filmmaker Elemi Yahaya Osezua, man, it just hits you right in the gut. Think about it, in a tough economy where some producers are literally making feature films on budgets of less than $5,000. Where does a line item for safety measures fit in when just paying for the camera and the actors is a struggle, when survival is the only game in town?
So you have this intense economic pressure, and it's happening inside what's basically a perfect storm of systemic failure. First, there are almost no real rules, no one enforcing safety protocols. Second, the industry guilds, the very groups that are supposed to protect workers, have been called comatose. They just don't have the power to make anyone follow the rules. And finally, you have a broken insurance system that isn't forcing productions to be safe, which removes a huge layer of accountability. Now, while all of that is happening on the ground, I want you to just look at this number, $1 billion. That was the Nigerian government's goal for how much money the industry should be making from exports. It's a massive, ambitious goal that just feels worlds away from the dangerous reality for the people actually creating that value.
But, and this is important, out of all this grief and anger, a powerful call for change has been ignited. People inside the industry are turning that grief into action. They're demanding accountability, and they're proposing real, concrete solutions to start a new, safer chapter for Nollywood.
So what does that change actually look like? Well, experts have laid out a pretty clear roadmap, and it's not some magic bullet. It's a grassroots strategy. You start small, define your goals, you build a team of allies, you create a simple, powerful message. Then you educate everyone from the top down. And only then, with all that in place, can you effectively push for the big policy changes that are so desperately needed.
And here's the key. This is on everyone. Producers have to make safety a non-negotiable part of the contract. The guilds need to wake up and actually enforce rules, maybe with surprise inspections. The actors and the crew, they need to be trained and feel empowered to speak up for themselves. And maybe most importantly, the investors, the people with the money, they need to use their leverage and say, no safety plan, no check.
You know, the stakes for getting this right are just unbelievably high. This isn't just about preventing a few accidents. This is about protecting the entire future of one of Nigeria's most important cultural and economic treasures.
It's so easy to forget the scale we're talking about here. Number 2, Nollywood is the second largest film industry on the entire planet. That's not just a statistic, that is a global cultural force. And its economic footprint is enormous. It contributes over 2% to Nigeria's GDP and gives jobs to more than 1 million people. So protecting its workers isn't just the right thing to do morally. It's absolutely essential for protecting a cornerstone of the whole national economy.
And when you strip everything else away, it all comes down to this one simple truth. The heart of Nollywood, its single most valuable asset, isn't the fancy cameras or the scripts. It's the people. It's the actors, the directors, the crew, all the unsung heroes whose creativity and sweat fuels this incredible industry. So we end on this question. Nollywood has mastered the art of telling stories that captivate the entire world. But the real challenge now is, can it write a new story for itself? One where the safety and the dignity of its own people finally get the starring role they deserve. Honestly, the industry's whole future depends on the answer.